So welcome, Pascaline, Antonio, in this session on Equinox, Equinox Corporate and Equinox Law Firm. We are here today to discuss about our future-proof IPMS. We especially wanted to speak about the data that we use, all our interconnections with our databases, patent trademark databases, but also the connections with the services, and the much awaited AI-powered efficiency. We want to go a bit into the details. We are focusing today, maybe a small introduction on Equinox Corporate and Law Firm. At Questel, we have several IPMS. We also have Equinox Corporate Plus, built on Salesforce. That is another system. A lot of the points we're mentioning today are also valid for this other tool, but just for clarity's sake, it can be good to mention. So glad to have you all with us. You are very numerous to join, so that's a nice thing for us. You will receive the recording of the session afterwards and the slides also. So no worries if ever you have to leave earlier. Maybe we can go to the presentation and present ourselves as presenter. I will maybe let you start, Pascaline, and then Antonio.
Yes, hi everyone. So I'm Pascaline Bureau. I have been a client solution specialist at Questel for over a year. And I work with our clients on Questel SaaS solutions. And I'm excited to be here today with Marie and Antonio to discuss IP management system.
Right. And Antonio, very glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Pascaline, for inviting me here today. And good morning to everyone who is attending. My name is Antonio Erbolfato. I'm legal team manager at Brandstock Legal. I'm based in Tokyo, Japan, and I had the pleasure to be project coordinator of the Equinox shift from our old IPMS to the current one, Equinox. I'm really happy to share our journey with you later on.
Yeah, so at the end of not the end, we keep quite some time for your very important testimonial on how and why you switched to Equinox Law Firm and how did the journey go, even if it's quite a recent one, but we already have quite a lot to say on it. And on my end, I was about to skip myself. I am Marie Farge, and I'm leading the client solutions specialist team on the trademark and design side at Questel. So it's with Pascaline, the team responsible for demonstrating our products. We have a focus in our team on the SaaS solutions, but of course work very closely with the services and demonstration, but also presentations like this one, joining you in conferences, and last but not least, discussing with our clients what is expected in our tools so as to work closely with the product management teams and make our tools evolve. So that's a part of an important and interesting part of our position. So the agenda for today. We will start with the notion of all-in-one IPMS and explain what it entails. And then, as said, we will really go into the connection parts, meaning with Orbit Intelligence and Markify, as for the data. Then with the different services one can order through the platform directly, like renewals, EP validations, translation, Markify watches also. We go then to the AI-driven efficiency and our AI copilots. They are features available for patents and or trademarks. So both teams are concerned. And as I said, lastly, but main portion, the part on the testimonial. We have Antonio Erbolfato live with us, and this is great. We also have another testimonial from a French company, Exotec. So they are not live with us, but we included the testimonial because it's another different angle from law firm to corporate, big team to smaller team, and why the tool can fit both needs. So let's go live. And I will start with the all-in-one idea. So when we say all-in-one offer, obviously, first and foremost, we speak about the different types of assets that you can manage in our systems. This means trademarks, patents, designs, obvious, but it also means copyrights, domain names, and related matters. So it can be contracts, opposition cases, litigation cases. I think without those, we would not have Brandstock with us on the platform. So this is about the matter, or we call it case also. The tool is flexible. It means that it comes with built-in matters, cases that are customizable, but above all, you can create your own. So you can create the categories and subcategories that are needed for you to add. If you want to add projects, you can add projects. So this is the idea of the all-in-one in terms of cases. The all-in-one entails also the law engine, so it's built in, it's handled and updated by our team internally at Questel, with of course a nice network helping on this central part of the IPMS. Then, as you can see on the left, but we will dive into them, they are the services, so I don't go more on it for the moment. The connected workflows, so what does it mean? You can interconnect your IPMS system with our inventor portal. We call it Invention, Equinox Invention, and with our brand proposal portal, that is called brand proposal, and that helps manage the workflows from new brand name or logo suggestion up to filing. So we keep them for the pre-filing workflows, but they are interconnected to Equinox. And once the filing happens, you want to handle your procedure in the IPMS. This is the idea. So really interconnection. Then the AI copilots, once again, we will dive into it later. So I don't say too much for now, but as you can see on the slide, many workflows, office action, goods and services of patent drafting, we have it, or some are working on it. And on the other features that you will expect from an IPMS, I guess, anyone would expect them. We have the document management system, the possibility also to create budget, to track invoices. As I said, it's a system that can be used for corporate and for law firms. We have slight differences between both versions, but the core of it is similar, and some corporates will use the invoicing also. So we have those possibilities. In terms of collaboration, here we cited client portal, but same on the corporate side, it's also used with, we just call it light portal. This is when you want to share only in read-only mode with collaboration, but in read-only as to the modifying the cases with your teams internally or with your clients externally. And last one that is on the slide, it's the correspondence part, meaning email integration, being able to send emails from the system, but also receive emails and use our template system for mails, forms, letters, and our Microsoft Office plugin. So why did we want to really present this all? We already did some webinars on the solutions that were maybe complete presentation. Here we want to focus on specific parts, but just remind you that the rest is there, even if we are not focusing today on it. So for today, one of the things we still wanted to show that is not the interconnected part, it's the reporting part and the dashboards. So Pascaline is going to present that, and why also because you will see in Antonio's testimonial later that it has been one of the reasons why Equinox was chosen as an IPMS for Brandstock teams. So I think this is when I leave you the floor, Pascaline.
Thank you, Mary. So yes, our next topics are dashboard and report. I won't be doing a full presentation of them today. However, as I said, Mary, we believe these are key topics that can really drive a decision to change an IPMS. That's why we thought it will be useful to briefly showcase Equinox reporting capabilities today. So our dashboards are fully customizable and act as a visual presentation of selected reports. You can create a dashboard per topic, such as trademarks, patents, finance, or you can also tailor them to specific teams. And we believe this helps manage IP portfolios for more efficiently and make more informed decisions. And one more thing that may interest law firms, dashboards can also be shared through the customized client portal that I will present later. And now let's take a quick look at reporting. So with Equinox, you can create fully customized reports to match your team's or client's requirements, whether it's for tasks, deadlines, invoices, or other key data. And all data in Equinox can be included in a report. And Equinox provides a client or light portal to share read-only files with clients or coworkers. And this free access allows you to easily share updates, reports, documents about portfolios, so with your clients or coworkers. And you can fully customize permissions for each client, coworkers, ensuring they only see what's relevant to them. And now Marie will present you the interconnection with Equinox Invention and Equinox Brand Proposal.
Thanks, Pascaline. Yeah, I was saying before that you can interconnect our Inventor portal and Brand Proposal portal. So here you just take a glimpse into the default workflows that we are using. They are totally customizable. So we just tend to suggest here on top you have the trademark example, first trademark proposal, then it goes to preliminary search, of course, change of person in general, it's marketing for the first step, and it will be the search team for the second step, full clearance search if it is needed, can be removed, legal validation, marketing decision, but our clients, as I was saying, it's customizable, can either rename the workflows, remove one, add some marketing decision in between each stage. Also, this is sometimes requested. So keep in mind, this is only an example. The idea is it's a workflow, only one person is responsible per one step at a time. Then they can communicate, they can collaborate, that's all the idea. You keep track of all the past projects in one place. This is the important part of it, I think, because it's often lost, lost in loops of emails, and also you make sure that all relevant stakeholders are kept in the loop. So this is about our portals. I really go quickly because, you know, our goal is to show you most of it. So obviously, if you are interested in some of those, we can do live demos and customized demos, which is even much more interesting. For our quick introduction of the all-in-one, and we are going to dive into the connections. So we'll start with Pascaline explaining a bit how we use Orbit Intelligence patent data and Markify trademark data inside our IPMS.
Yes, PTO import. So in Equinox, PTO import allows you to access official office data directly from your Equinox system. So you will be able to create new trademark and patent cases by importing the official office data into your system. And it will pull in key details such as the trademark name, official dates and numbers, logos for your trademarks, list of goods and services, applicants, and inventors. And this really reduces the administrative workload. And we also have, thanks to Orbit Intelligence and Markify, the PTO comparison tool. At Questel, we take data security very seriously. That's why data comparison is a key part of our system Equinox. PTO data comparison lets you quickly verify and compare the information in your system Equinox with official records. And you can check details like the, for example, applicant name, registration date, and it helps you to spot any errors and discrepancies. And now Marie will speak about the services interconnected in our solution Equinox. So order renewals, EP validation, translation, and Markify watches.
Thanks, Pascaline. So we start with the EP validations and translations. This is an interconnection with what we call the Questel Services portal. It's a portal that is valid for patent clients, and you can directly from within your IPMS order a quote and then the corresponding order directly from the platform for EP validations and translations. So it has services teams behind. These are human persons behind, but the connection and the order can be done directly from within the IPMS. You obviously keep save time, save time. But also what is great is that you can keep track of those orders file per file directly in the system. So the end goal of that is to have the centralization of all orders and documents by file that you can retrieve in your IPMS. So this is the idea behind this interconnection. The second one we wanted to speak about is the annuities and renewals. So same, our services teams are behind, but we benefit from technical improvements, and we can now order annuities and renewals directly. Now it's not been recent, but directly from within the platform. Not only, of course, order them, but keep track. That's the logic of it. You have in the screenshot an example of a workflow that you can see on the asset level. You could, of course, also order in bulk. This is an example. So we have for patents also the standalone, not standalone, standing order possibility on the patent side, and annual instruction on the trademark side. So here it's an example of a unique workflow. So you order, you monitor, and you do either automatic renewal or bulk also instruction. As I was saying, no deep dive, sorry, too many topics for that. The next one we wanted to highlight is the Markify connection. It means now you can order Markify watches from within Equinox. We implemented that last year and already had quite a good success on that. Why? Because the idea is not to get your Markify results into the system, but rather to be able to order the watches also within Equinox. Pascaline, I think I'm stealing your slide. It was yours.
Yes.
I leave it to you.
Yes, indeed. We have integrated our watch tool Markify with our IPMS Equinox. So clients using both solutions can manage their watch list directly in Equinox. And as I said, Marie, thanks to this synchronization between the two solutions, you can set up watches either in Equinox or in Markify. And you will always have a current list of your active watches on both platforms. And when you are in Equinox, you will get an alert, a notification when new watch results are available in Markify with a direct link to access them. And now it's you, Marie, to speak about the AI-driven part.
Yeah. So we are now diving into our AI copilots. We will spend some time, I think, here on this slide because it contains really the most important parts. Sorry, I clicked involuntarily. Yeah. So here we are speaking about Qthena, the AI copilot for, I think it changes. Yeah, I'm not going to touch my screen anymore. It changes alone. So all-in-one prosecution workflow data. And no, it's really, I'm sorry because I don't touch and the slide is
moving.
Is moving. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if Melissa, you can act on it or not, because I don't know what to do to keep the slide active. It changes automatically. Otherwise, sorry for you. Please keep this in mind, and then I read it. So AI-powered copilot for patent prosecution workflows. We have inside this copilot the possibility, many possibilities, but the idea is that the tool is trained on the patent side to kind of think. Of course, it's not thinking, we use AI models, but to kind of think like a patent engineer, and on the trademark side to think like a trademark lawyer. So we train them. This is what we then call, and then we build what we call trademark or patent skills. You choose the skills you want to use. So we have skills for reply to an office action, patent or trademark. We have skills for help me draft my patents. I insist on the help me because the tool is not there to provide you an end result. You have to anyway work on it. I mean, legally binding, you need to work on it, but the tool will clearly make you gain a lot of time by helping you draft your patents, by analyzing the previous versions of your drafts, and also by analyzing prior art that you would provide. So you have your own private version, important private version of the AI models that we use. We use OpenAI, we use also Gemini from Google, both. The user can choose which one to use, and then we'll benefit from those trained models. I cited drafting of patents and goods and services. I cited reply to office action, but there's also a claim comparison, claim chart creation. There's also a business portfolio analysis to get a more strategic insight and help you in your decision-making process. And there's a lot more that can be done. I give you some examples, but for example, on the trademark side, you could load portfolio of a competitor or the company you are assessing as for an acquisition, for example, and load also your own portfolio and ask the tool to compare which of the trademarks could be similar. So that's really endless, I would say, use cases behind behind this platform. The idea is, now this slide is staying, so I can show the next slide. The idea is that we interconnect this AI copilot to Equinox, to our IPMS. It's interconnected at the document level. We may do more over time, that's totally possible. It will also depend on you, on our clients' requests and what matters most for you. But for the moment, we connect at the document level, and you can, from Equinox, create a Qthina project directly from a document, and it will transfer your document to Qthina so you can work in them, annotate them. And it's really a synchronization. So whatever you do on this document in Qthina is retrieved automatically in Equinox. And if you are on the other side already working in Qthina, same, you can use the import from Equinox. So you can launch the synchronization from both sides, and you use what I would say is your end result, meaning the document, because at some point you will need to draft something, or you use it as ideas simply. So you can chat with the bot, and you can use, of course, also the embedded functionalities such as OCR. So OCR, for those who may not know the term, it's really the capacity from the tool to go and fetch the words that are inside an image. So it's capable of searching inside images. It means that whatever content you provide, it will be able to analyze it and search. It also embeds translation. So you can also ask for a translation in the system. I focused on the most important ones. Keep in mind there are others, and we can also really present the tool for you if needed. Maybe one small focus on the trademark features. So I was mentioning goods and services, reply to office action. Another one I did not mention is the chat with your trademark search and watch results. Whatever the tool you are using, be it Questel or not, you may provide the tool with your results and ask the tool to help you draft maybe your legal review. Why did we choose to focus on those? Obviously, goods and services, it's very tedious to do it, and it's repetitive. So the idea is also you need to be compliant to avoid a refusal by the PTO. So the idea is the tool is gonna look into those pre-approved terms from the offices. We focus on EU IPO, US PTO a lot. but we can evolve over time, really, once, as I was saying, depending on the feedback we get. And respond to office actions, same problem. It's tedious. You need to check previous case law. It's time consuming. So the tool contains also this information. And the other nice part is that we interconnect Qthena with our systems, also patent and trademark data, so as to be able to use it and to run, for example, an owner search directly from Qthena, be it patent or trademark. I hope it was clear enough for a very quick review of those capacities, and maybe can give you the will to go and dig a bit into this topic with us. We will see later if we have questions. We will, of course, try to answer those questions that I'm pretty sure you will have on this AI Copilot. For our last, I would say, portion of the webinar, we really want to discuss with you, Antonio. So it's the much awaited part of this webinar, and we are going to see with you first, who are you at Brandstock? What Brandstock is able to provide, and then why did you choose to switch to Equinox? So I leave you the floor for at least an introduction already, and then we go to the questions.
Thank you very much, Marie. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm legal team manager at Brandstock, so leading therefore force of legal consultants, having, of course, their own needs, needs of modernization, needs of user experience. And therefore we started, and as you will see very shortly, the idea of a change. To give a bit of numbers, I can mention that so far we have 65 users in the legal team. A global number of accounts is around 100. As you will see, we integrated several further departments that have access to this new source of truth. And on top of that, we already have and growing 40 client accesses and other very key features. Numbers that, of course, refers to Brandstock as leading provider when it comes to intellectual property service on a worldwide level. We do manage, of course, trademark and design services, as well as IP asset managers. And because of that, of course, we were looking for the perfect tool to evolve, of course, in the current worldwide environment. So more to come, I think, in the next slides, Marie.
Yeah, and I maybe forgot also to add that at Brandstock Legal, you are part of our all-in-one solutions at Questel, and part of the broad offer that we can offer our clients. So let's go to the next slide, if I find it. I lost my, yeah, okay, I find it. It's here. And we will start with our questions. So our first question was, Antonio, on the decision drivers. So what were the main reasons for changing your docketing system? And then also, were there any business, legal, or operational factors that really drove this decision?
So Maria, I will try to stick to the time that we had because, of course, conversation will be very long. But I'm also very happy that we had like an introduction on the Equinox functionalities, so that also my replies and my feedback about our journey will make also sense. So yes, we have several reasons, of course, to change and evolve. We were especially looking for much more modern and user-friendly IPMS that could have been customized to our needs and also able to tailor-made the different necessities. As every law firm, we have several. Above all, an integration for important tools of our daily practice like time tracking and invoices processing.
Yeah.
What we were able to accomplish with this move was finally having, like, I think also a long dream for me and our consultants, having a one-screen system integrating our different departments and data under a same frame, under a same interface. Very important for the daily practice. And you mentioned business and operational factors that drove our decision. Indeed, we had, and of course here I will try to stick to the main ones. It was actually a combination of these factors that drove us to the choice. On the side of the operational, we wanted to improve our daily efficiency. Indeed, we calculated that we wanted to boost our performances for 30% by relieving our consultants by unnecessary activities. And at the same time, of course, and this is strictly connected, of course, to the business approach, We wanted, as of course every law firm devoted to worldwide scope, to be able to stand and even more to advance the global competition by aggregating our sources of truth under one single location, and therefore deriving maximum efficiency for our daily work.
Thank you. Interesting.
Thank you. Now that we understand your key decision drivers, Antonio, can you tell us more about the specific challenges you faced with your previous docketing system?
I will try to be short here and probably more focus on the benefits we gain on Equinox. But talking about the past, let me focus firstly on the access of the clients. Something very important, the backdoor to the client's data is one of the key features. Of course, every law firm and every database that was quite outdated in several aspects. And also some of the functionalities were actually not working under best performance. We used to have a desktop version, so for me that is already quite outdated in its essence. This didn't give us, among the other features, the possibility to have dynamic interactive dashboards showing general overviews of the data, of course, of all the APRs uploaded, neither for specific clients and also for specific fields that we actually use on a daily basis, the country, the catchword, the classes, something that has to be very immediate and interactive for us and for our clients. And also the reporting part, which is a daily feature, was of course possible, it goes without saying, but it was quite cumbersome in the creation, customization, differentiation to the needs, of course, of the internal consultants and the different client specifics. So this impacted actually in time-consuming activities in our daily work we wanted to avoid and actually advance. To say the truth, we also had an online version of this database that was definitely more user-friendly, as of course an online version is. However, it was lacking major functionalities, and therefore it was not suited to our needs, and we want exactly to have something that was able to adapt to those. So those were the challenges of the past.
Thank you, Antonio. That was really interesting what you shared about reports and dashboard. And it's true that for our discussions with clients, we have also noticed that they can be pain point for them too. And I'm sure we will have the opportunity to revisit this topic later during our discussion. So now we have a clear picture of the challenges you faced, and Mary has a few questions about how you evaluated and selected your new system.
Yes. So the evaluation process is, I think, very interesting for all. So we wanted to know, how did you evaluate the different docketing systems? Because Equinox law firm is one of them. So yeah, how did you evaluate them?
I think the criteria are quite common in our field. However, let me mention them. So we actually follow specific parameters in evaluating exactly the system itself. First of all, the upload and download time of the reporting, essential to have a daily speed and smoothness. The dashboard and customization possibility, as I mentioned, key in the interactions with our clients. Also, the interface integration, I hope I will be able to say more words about this later on. All in all, a user-friendly layout. I think we see it on a daily basis outside of our work experience, how interfaces are evolving and how we all need to approach them with a sympathetic approach, so to say. And also an intuitive approach, obviously. And going back to the IPMS, it was really important that inserting the data and also making use of the search fields was immediate and approachable.
And so in those in this evaluation process, what were really the key criteria that you selected? Yeah, key criteria for you.
Yes, maybe they transferred from my previous conversation. Maybe an additional one is the cost optimization, of course. Having the chance to have an all-in-one solution allows us also to have a conspicuous saving, of course, in our resources. These, of course, tied with the competitiveness with respect to the prior and the other IPMNs. We wanted to reach, of course, in selecting the new system, an advanced scalability, the efficiency of the workflows for all our team members, but also for our clients. This was really important. From my notes also, I can also tell you the possibility of customization of different features, especially this one mainly devoted to the centralizing of the invoicing flows. It's the financial part is very important in the background, of course, of a law firm activities, and all in all, as I said, improve the user experience for us and for our clients. And also something that maybe can stay also on top of all these priorities, all very important, but takes an important place, was assessing the security foundations of our IPMS. It is essential, indeed. As a law firm, of course, we're entrusted, proudly entrusted with our clients' data. And so for us, it is crucial that we ensure the security and the data privacy. And those has to be managed according to the industry best practices. It goes without saying. Using GDPR compliant tools and processes, Equinox allowed us to make this available, also to satisfy this very important priority.
I agree. It's the core of it, or rather not the core, but the basis. In a search tool, you want data, and in an IPMS, you need absolute security, and then you can review all the features that are in. So yeah, great feedback. And question, even though I know the answer, Antonio, but did you consult external advisors or involve multiple departments to make this choice? It's interesting for, I think, our audience.
For sure, and maybe this can be specific to Brandstock or to this project in the specific, but I'm really happy to share that there was a very oriented internal alignment with our upper management, our managing director, as well as all our different departments that would have benefited from this unique source of truth, if you allow me to call it this way, mentioning accounting department, the ERP team, finance, procurement, IT, legal, of course. Those are all departments that have specific goals, and we're very happily aligned and having an internal streamline. This was actually also our success key, if I can anticipate that.
Yeah, having observed a bit your project from outside, I would say I was really struck by this coordination, and I think it's an important part also for our audience, for our clients to think, okay, changing or switching to an IPMS is a project. It's a nice project, but yeah, you were really involved efficiently in it. So I think it's also it's really part of the success. This collaboration between the teams and knowing where you want to go. That's the idea. Because
Absolutely,
in general,
Marie.
you use the change of IPMS or the switch to an IPMS to sometimes change a process or improve a process. So that's where the provider, we are the providers, we are part of this project where we work hand in hand. That's what I mean. So I think that worked very well.
That is very true.
Were they? Oh, sorry.
No, it was very true, Marie. Like, thank you for summing up also for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I must say it. So were there any deal breakers that maybe eliminated certain options? Or to rephrase the question, because it may be a bit unclear, we were willing to know if some of either the features of the workflows you were aiming to get were potentially not there or not. That's it, simply said.
Yes, and we were actually very positive surprised. Like selection of Equinox was exactly going into this direction to have all these features all together and serving the different departments, as I said. So maybe we can connect to the question before. There was actually no need to debate deal breakers at all, since we have this internal common approach that, as you mentioned, is quite essential in leading a project to the success, but also to actually have everyone happy on the same boat when reaching our common objectives. Indeed.
So great news, and on the two sides, no deal breaker. This is great for everyone. I switch to our next slide because we have a lot of questions. Still 2 slides to go, but there are less here. On the transition challenges, we know it can be a challenge, change of IPMS for a firm your size, even more. So maybe can you tell us what were the biggest challenges in the migrating to this new system?
Here, maybe I would like to be very straightforward, and I'm really happy also to see the chart to go through in the next questions. But really in bullet points, coordinating the different stakeholders, priority, mapping the data from the previous systems and bringing to the new one, the mirroring of the fields, essential, as well as the creating a new wished naming convention that allow us to work in a smoother and clearer approach. It was a great opportunity for us. Again, continue also creating the new interfaces and a renewed seamless workflow, having more simplified way of working in the mentioned one frame tool wished. For us, it has been really a futuristic change for us in having the chance to tackle this challenging in the migration. And of course, while the coordination and integration of new ways of working are meaningful challenges, we achieved like a big satisfaction by working together at group level and actually surpassing these challenges and bringing home like a very satisfactory result.
Yeah, well, good. The mapping the fields, I think, part is for me a very interesting feedback, because our teams, I mean, our data migration team is mapping the fields. When they receive files from the clients, they make sure they understand the content, so they put it in the right place. But what is interesting is that you also really well worked on this. What do I really want to keep, and what can I change, because I have a more powerful tool now. And if I refer to specific examples on international procedures for international trademarks, we have really nice workflows in Equinox for handling the WIPO mark as an envelope and then having all the designations case by case with dedicated tasks. And this is a really nice feature. I'm going a bit off track, Antonio, but I know it's a nice feature that is in and that you now benefited from. So this was the discussion on changing sometimes approach from one tool to the other. And yeah, that's this mapping also is about this. So worked well. And how long did the transition take on your side? What were the main steps involved? I think it's partially in your chart, even if we blurred it for confidentiality's sake.
No, thank you very much, but I'm glad you inserted it. I mean, again, chart is a very normal tool in any project management, but we made use of the same exactly to be perfectly on track and streamline on the common objectives. Very shortly, we began the preparatory works in the spring of 2024. We had the official kickoff on the 1st of July 2024. The infrastructure and migration delivery were actually live according to our plan, very happily, and we went live on the 9th of December, which is still yesterday to me, but on that day, the entire Brandstock legal team moved to the new tool.
Here, I wanted to add something, just because it's a question that we often have from our clients or prospects. What's the timeline? And the timeline is so different from one project to the other. Here we refer to Brandstock as a big firm, but with a very, really project-oriented approach. So it simplifies things clearly. And direct needs and workflows. On another side, if you are a small firm or a small corporate, obviously will be quicker. We will see that also with Exotec testimonial. So it's difficult for us to give ranges. It's a case-by-case situation. If we should give a range, I will start from 2 months and end in 1 to 1 year, or even why not more? Because some things can be even customized over time even more. So the 2 months to 1 year, you see, it really depends on the size and on the needs. So it's difficult for us to give a timeline. Come and discuss with us if that's interesting for you.
Absolutely. And Marie, allow me to say that in our case, of course, we had both database migration and a financial project and redefining of the workflows, as you mentioned, so that actually matches our experience and completely also the amount of time you mentioned. I perfectly agree with you.
Thank you. We also wanted to ask you if you face any data loss. Let's be transparent. Downtime, workflow disruptions, issues. Yeah.
I think this is a very important part of the project itself, and happily the answer was no, considering the safety net we put in place. So we actually had the 2 tests before the live migrations, and with those, of course, came the deliveries of KPIs in the form of a migration protocol for internal approval at the project level. And in parallel, we also have a focus test, but also by the legal teams, to evaluate any losses or disruptions. They were very minor in the first test. I'm happy to report there was no significant discrepancies, and in case they were quickly fixed before the second test and the go live.
Yeah, and these tests, that's another question, and that's normal that we get this question that we get. How do you perform the migrations? Obviously, data migration team, they have been working on it for 15 years. It's not a new topic for us. They are used to change from diverse systems or Excel or IPMS, both of it. And the default for a simple and smaller project, the default is 1 test migration, but there's always one minimum. And we try to avoid to do more. In the big ones, of course, there are 2 test migrations. It's that's, I think, also typical and no surprise here. But we really avoid, meaning our teams make sure the mapping is correct, the understanding is correct, so we don't lose time, neither our team or the client's teams. Also, as you were having and giving the correct experts for those tests internally, so you have to dedicate and find who is your expert that is gonna do the checking after the test migration. So part of the mission is on the client's hands, you know. So this is exactly what was done. It worked well. And our last question on this slide, and I have only a few ones more, is how did you train your team, or how did we train your teams to adapt to this new system?
That's an absolutely crucial part that comes at the end of the project, and it was very important to tackle that. Let me anticipate that in any case, we build together the structure of the new system together with the teams, with the team managers, with the team leads. That was very effective in already creating internal knowledge at the very early stage. People were actually involved exactly since the beginning of the project to assist the correct data mirroring and the correct migration phase. But in any case, of course, to tackle also the basis of the consultants and spread exactly the knowledge at all levels, we made use of live recorded trainings, several of them, and of course very oriented, sharing clear guidelines in written, of course saved under a common storage. The usual help desk support, this is quite normal, but also this was important, a hypercare support at the very moment of the go live with individual approach and assistance on a daily basis on the queries and necessities that actually came from the go live. So quite a structure.
Yeah, so the hypercare is the moment just after the go live, after the migration checks have been done. You really go live with your data, daily work, docketing, task follow up, and a team is dedicated to you for a specific period in time. And then when the hypercare period, it's really a defined process. When the hypercare period is over, you go to joining support if ever there's a problem, a need, a question, whatever. So this is part of our streamlined workflow, I mean, usual workflow for migrations. And I realized we really had a lot of questions. So we are chatting, and I hope it's not too long for those of you attending, but we still have some really nice questions to come. So maybe I will try to, I mean, it's on Pascaline. Yeah, it's for you.
Yes.
Those questions.
Yes. So, Antonio, now you have migrated to Equinox. We would like to hear your thoughts on how it has been working for you and your overall experience so far. So, our first question is, has the new docketing system resolved the issue you faced with the previous one?
Well, on this answer, I can be very positively relieved and say a big yes. And also facing the previous IPMS, finally, okay, now we have reporting chances that are faster, they're easily adapting the user requirements exactly as we wished. Finally, have dashboards that are customizable, and also the insertion of the information is much quicker and efficient. So gaining the volumes and efficiency we wanted also in percentage. We can have our time tracking inserted directly in the system. We know this is a common approach, but of course this is happily tied to all the different workflows right now. This can be included in the billing procedures in a very seamless approach. So there are many less steps actually to be taken from all the departments involved in the big structure of our law firms, and in general more automation. So exactly what we wanted to achieve. Also on the side of the Equinox client access, this is incredibly much more quicker and direct. We already received very positive feedbacks from, of course, several of our clients. Last but not least, also this direct link to the PTOs that also you showed before, Marie, is a big plus and actually an upgrade for the cross-search of data. It has normally done with an external tool. This is also a big efficiency improvement, if you allow me to say. And maybe I can already anticipate also the next reply, because it actually comes exactly in this flow about the benefits and the drawbacks of the new system. And also here I'm very relieved to say that actually there were no drawbacks. Everything was as planned in the sense that the major external benefits that we received are a boosted approach, interest, engagement of our internal users. So increasing the satisfaction also to work on the tool and the data. And this is, of course, very important in terms of team efficiency and spirit. But also we received quite a high buzz and interest from our clients that made us really happy.
Thank you, Antonio. And finally, would you recommend this system to other companies?
I think the answer is quite yes, in the sense that, as you may hear, we are very enthusiastic of what we were able to achieve and what actually Equinox offered to us. Really, in a nutshell, we finally have something that is user-friendly. We have a very responsive support. The tool contains all the needed options for the billing, the time tracking, procurement data, categorization of documents. So it's a unique tool with multiple needs. And also we had a cherry on the cake that maybe that was unexpected, but we were able to discover during our journey, is a data synchronization possibility. So actually what we found out, and we already see the actually the positive benefits at client's end, is to have I call it an airdrop, at least this is how I read it, between the Equinox law firm accounts and the Equinox corporate one. There is a very smooth synchronization of data, of course, on chosen fields and selected data. And this is, of course, a great plus because, of course, we have clients that rely on us for the full portfolio management, several of them, but some of them, of course, entrust us partially the portfolios. They prefer to have their own complete IPMS, and this is, of course, always a choice that we embrace. We are used to Docket on their system since, of course, the early stage of the collaboration. But now, of course, with the interface between Equinox Law Firm and Equinox Corporate, this actually goes in a very modernized and quick direction. We couldn't be happier than that. So maybe I also wanted to give this cherry on the cake to our satisfaction and recommendation of the tool.
Thank you, Antonio. So it's interesting you mentioned the PTO link, and I'm sure you will be happy to know that there is more to come on that. It could be a next topic for a future webinar. And so
very keen to know more.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing all this insights. And we have covered a lot of the current system. And now let's turn to the future. And Marie has some question for you, Antonio.
Yeah, it's really to open the door. So when you look ahead, and it's partially opened, but if you look ahead, and I'm gonna throw the 3 questions in a row, we were interested in knowing what features or improvements you would still like to see in the system. And also if you foresee already any additional changes in your processes or tool. And last but not least, what kind of features you are expecting from an IPMS on the AI features? What are those that would be key for you? Yeah,
so
especially related to the management.
Yeah, indeed. But let me focus with a bit more time on the AI. I think it's also the
Yeah.
big background of our conversation today. When it comes to the set of features, we plan implemented, make use already, I think, of a quite futuristic and organized approach. So I think we can just advance from there in a very, of course, humbly approach, because, of course, we always need to walk together with our consultants and clients through the futures. Very important would be maybe an enlargement of set of features for the client access, of course,
Okay.
to grant a constant satisfaction to our client pool. But when it comes to the AI, I think this is also a conversation that me and our teams are constantly having with our colleagues. I think we can see three major improvements moving ahead, and I think you already spoiled, Marie,
Yeah.
some of them, but very quickly, and this will actually boost even more our daily efficiency. I see AI as an accelerator of processes, not a substitute, but an accelerator, and this is really interesting. So I would say the drafting of goods and services, first one, the replies to the office action, as you, I think, very nicely described before, and also having an impact on the watching. So on the first one, it would be great to work on providing an AI-supported assistant when selecting the appropriate goods and services terms, but based in the different languages and jurisdictions. So sticking, of course, to the local national criteria, that would be a great improvement. When it comes to the office sections, we already do that, but again, accelerating this into one dashboard, actually in a cockpit, would be for sure revolutionary, is having AI to analyze the relevant legislation and case law, basically, to assist us when drafting the responses that, of course, should and have to be tailor-made to the specific concerns to the examiners. And we see in the daily practice, we see very standard cases or very creative ones. So having already a backup in already getting those data to do our job in a creative and passionate approach would be great for sure. And last, on the watching, I think reducing the noise in the watch results, and therefore having a better and more valuable watch or search report would be key. Again, something that makes a bit more seamless the work.
Yeah.
Improvements for me could mean including information, for example, the similarity of the goods and services already in the report, the owner's prior rights, I think very important, prior use, and of course the relevant case law. So this we may take on the AI in under three pillars.
So that's great because Antonio, you keep us very busy
I'm happy to do
with all
so.
those expectations. But these are common expectations. Watch, of course, review is maybe, of course, it's linked to management. It's maybe more for the search tools, but that's also part of what we are tackling indeed in the AI Copilot tool. And once again, talking interconnections on these AI copilots, I really know we went quickly over those functionalities, but another webinar is coming, and in this webinar we will be able to really dig into them, so not throw them so quickly. It's in 1 month only, so there will be this webinar on the AI copilots, and I think that will be helpful for everyone to have examples, also physical examples, because we did not have time for that today. So thanks a lot again. We know you're in Tokyo. It's late for you, Antonio. We are keeping you
Not so
with
late.
us. Not so late,
It's such a
yes.
pleasant chat,
Used to
indeed.
it. I really wanted to close this webinar on Exotec testimonial. That is also very interesting because we just saw with you this a big firm is switching to Equinox, and why? Of course, the drivers are partially the same if we look into that. So we are going to see together. And first, a small introduction on Exotec. So it's a French company. I'm French, so always happy to showcase also nice corporates that we do have that has been recently recognized as an industrial unicorn. So they design and develop solutions based on auto-guided vehicles. And we have a testimonial from Olivier Biard, the head of IP, and Nathalie Héroux, who is patent engineer and European patent attorney, on why they decided to switch from Excel, because it's, as you can see, a smaller team here, corporates, to using a professional IPMS. A lot of our clients are using Excel, and sometimes even with quite big portfolios. So it's always interesting for us to know why they stuck to Excel so long, and why at some point they also decide, okay, I should use a system that embeds the law engine, etc. So we have a set of questions that we ask them. And even if I don't read them all one by one, I think the more important part of this testimonial is same as you, Antonio, the reporting part. It's important. Flexibility of the dashboard was important in why they chose this system. The fact that it's also, there is the PTO connection for real-time data verification. As we are always saying, it's a help. It's not a replacement. It does not replace you as a person. It helps you be more efficient. And that's really the goal. And the extensive capabilities. The fact that the tool is flexible and allows to scale. Really, if your company is then growing, and that's the only thing we wish to for our clients, is that they see their portfolio grow, then you can really scale with our system. And on the experience, the onboarding experience, I mean, we had very positive feedback on the responsiveness of our team and the fact that we have a team that has an understanding of IP. I mean, you are speaking with IP professionals when you decide to go with Equinox. So I think that's, and if you look at the last comment on the fast deployment, I was saying depending from one to another project, of course, timing will be different, and for Exotec it was less than 3 months onboarding, which is considered quick because once again it's a project and you then have a professional tools inside your hands, and I think much more efficient than Excel when you want to grow. So yeah, that's why we are happy to work with you at Exotec, and I think you are watching us. So thank you for this testimonial. Thank you again, Antonio, for your presence. Thank you, Pascaline.
Thank you.
We kept a lot of time for the testimonial, but I guess if we still have so many people watching us today, is that this was interesting to listen to.
Thank you, Marie, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe something I forgot to mention, because of the time, I think it will be very difficult to answer questions. So what I suggest is that when we send to you the slides and the recording, we also send answers to the questions. If they are really personal question, I mean, of course, we will reply to you directly, personally. And if those are questions that can be interesting for all the attendees, then we will provide the answers to all with the recording. I think that's the most pragmatic way of going with it. And thanks again for your presence. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
See you soon.